Hello, and a very warm welcome back to the Sussex Daily News version 2. This afternoon, we update you with a piece of breaking news from ccn.com. Selfish behavior has harmed Meghan, not the royal plot. It seems there is a new book on Meghan Markle and Prince Harry being announced every week. The latest tell-all is written by Dylan Howard with Andy Tillett and promises to be a stunning exposé of an untold story of how Meghan Markle and Prince Harry left the royal family. We'll reserve judgment on that for now. In an attempt to create a story where one doesn't really exist, the new book by Tillett and Howard claims, via The Express, that Kate Middleton formed an alliance with the Queen in a bid to control Meghan Markle. Okay, first of all, Kate Middleton formed an alliance with the Queen years ago. She's her husband's grandmother, and has most likely been like a grandmother to Kate over the years as well. If marrying into a family and having love and respect for members of that family constitutes forming an alliance, then Kate is guilty as charged. Meanwhile, Meghan Markle and her attitude have been well documented over the past few years. I know most of her fans will dismiss these claims as racism and jealousy, but anyone with a shred of common sense knows there's more to it than that. Make no mistake about it, Meghan's royal controversies were brought about by Meghan. No one else. There was no plot against Meghan and Harry, just entirely understandable discussions among members of the royal family who have a long-term interest in preserving the monarchy. Queen Elizabeth and the wife of the future king worked together to ensure the royal family wasn't subject to embarrassment or controversy by Meghan's ridiculous antics. Royals at War claims there was tension between Kate Middleton and Meghan Markle. But honestly, does that surprise anybody? It was clear enough that Meghan's behavior rubbed Kate Middleton the wrong way, and rightfully so. Sources in the book claim, in a moment of tension, the issue of their children's titles had come up, and it allegedly unleashed a torrent of pent-up emotions. We've long believed that much of Meghan's issue with Kate was the fact that Kate was the alpha female within the family. As we know, Meghan Markle doesn't like to play second fiddle to anyone. Meanwhile, Kate Middleton and the Queen were trying to help Meghan Markle. The narrative from many quarters is that the royal family had it in for Meghan Markle since day one. But this simply isn't backed up by any compelling evidence. Even if you accept the claims about this alleged plot, it's obvious that Kate and the Queen had Meghan's best interests at heart. They knew all too well the reaction that Meghan would face from the public and the media if word of her selfish behavior leaked. Dylan Howard claims in his book that the intervention by senior royals was an effective damage limitation exercise. This type of approach can only work so many times, though. Sadly, Meghan's antics eventually did make their way into the tabloids, and her reputation within the British media and with the British public were forever soured. Indeed, she really is clutching at straws for publicity in a desperate attempt to stay relevant today, Daily Mail reported. Meghan Markle has phoned a black woman who says she was set on fire by 4 white men in an alleged hate crime, and lifted her spirits by talking about the importance of self-care during the 40-minute call. That is, an assault on Althea Bernstein, an 18-year-old EMT from Wisconsin, is being investigated as a hate crime after she was allegedly burned by lighter fluid thrown at her and ignited by a white man. Michael Johnson, the CEO of Boys and Girls Clubs of Dane County, has been in touch with Althea and told how the Duchess of Sussex reached out to him after reading about what happened to her. But many fans have slammed Meghan for that. A fan wrote, "If I had been the victim of some awful trauma that had got me into the media, I would be furious if Meghan or her ridiculous husband ring me up. As if I had not suffered enough without being used and patronized by these two for their self-promotion, and they call themselves humanitarians." A fan agrees and said, "How totally inappropriate for Meghan to wade in here when it is not a settled matter. Meghan is no authority on race relations. If she wanted to lift this woman's spirits, it should have been with everyone sworn to secrecy. This is a shameless grab for attention once again by Meghan. I feel very sorry for the girl, but I am appalled at yet another headline grab attempt by Meghan. This was a nice and compassionate thing to do, but do it privately and don't milk it for publicity, and we might respect you a little more." Meanwhile, the second wrote, "They'll literally use any victim or vulnerable people as a backdrop to try to stay in the public eye. If Harry and Meghan wanted to do good, and their charity work quietly, as they claimed was the reason they left the British royal family, then none of this would be released to the public, just like the huge amount of charity work that Princess Anne does, or most of the rest of the royal family do, doesn't end up being made public. A fan so angry and replied to this comment, "I don't think the world will be lucky enough for them to go private. Their stated goal is to cash in and grab as much money as they can into their bank accounts. The loud wailing, moaning, complaining, pity parties will be in full throttle. People will be lectured and nagged nonstop, and the globalists will pour money into them for supporting the harassment of the people. Why should such twistedness be turned loose on Americans?" A user added, "I honestly feel that these two are in very dangerous territory, reaching out to individuals in a therapeutic way. They're not qualified at all, and the person who has already suffered a horrific trauma is being used to raise her profile. It's disgusting for them to do. She really is sick in the head." Meanwhile, the last one wrote, "They are still investigating to determine if the young lady's claims are true. Won't it be something if they're proven to be false? And here you have Rachel trying to be meaningful in a situation that has nothing to do with her? This is like getting in a car accident and suddenly having Kim Kardashian call you. You'd be all confused and wonder, what in the world? Give me a break while I vomit in the corner." For me, I think that because decent people do these things all the time and don't try to get front page media attention for it, all of us in our lives have offered support, donated our time, donated our money, and contributed to others. We don't use them for photo ops and press coverage. Meghan Markle does it every single time. It's the classic behavior of a covert narcissist. It's disgusting to use someone else's real victimhood to get attention. We continue with other news. Meghan PR team works 24/7. She's really overexposed. Meghan Markle can be seen smiling alongside a private chef in a never-before-seen photo taken during the Sussex's 10-day African royal tour in 2019. The photo was shared by a South Africa-based luxury service company on their Instagram page, Concierge Cape Town, back on October 10th, but has only recently surfaced. It shows the Duchess of Sussex posing alongside Chef Lee, who was one of the cooks who looked after her, Prince Harry, and their son Archie during their time overseas. Alongside the snap, the caption reads, "Throwback to last week, our team assisting the royal family with their trip in Cape Town. Private chef and concierge services. Chef Lee cooking up some great food for the family." Sunshine Sachs ending the month with a barrage of Sussex drivel articles to justify the bill they are preparing for Chuck to pay. One can see right through it. How come Charles cannot? Is he that dense, or is he guilty? So big he has to give in. And the bill for the security for protecting these nobodies doing nothing at home is due for the month too. Better polish that pen. And I can show off plenty of photos of the chef who cooks for me, but then again, as the chef in me and I'm not that desperate to be loved or liked, I'll leave them in the photo album. Wow, gosh, Meghan Markle's PR team is working overdrive and looking desperate now. For people who want it to be private, they're very keen on dragging out photos from years ago. Who wants to see the same old stuff? She was moaning about her horrible life when she was over there. Why don't they just step back gracefully from public life and disappear? We might respect them for it. A viewer also blasts, "Clearly, the good old days, $500,000 baby showers, 6-week birthday celebrations with private jet flights, taxpayer-funded security detail, personal nannies and chefs in tow, all in the name of honor, duty, crown, and country. Now what? Write your own disgraceful spill-all book for scraps?" Obviously doing a little more than just surviving, how she had the cheek to complain about her life whilst being catered for with private chef and yet surrounded by such poverty. This is a great humanitarian, set to change the world. She's the biggest hypocrite on the planet, bar none. And the last one wrote, "I just find it so odd when people fawn over someone who was a total nobody 2 years ago. She has done little to earn her status or title, so why such hype and adoration? It's just so very bizarre. If I were in her position, I'd be really embossed at the instant celeb status. But she clearly craves the limelight. It's like she's in a movie playing a part. It doesn't seem genuine at all." Obviously, a quiet day in Meghanland, so out come old photos of guess who, yes, here's Meghan doing something, and here's another one of yes, guess who, and here's another one, yes, guess who, and on it goes. This would be the tour where she complained nobody asked her if she's okay, while surrounded by poverty in the world's poorest continent? Note to Sunshine Sachs, that's not going to be erased by releasing a photo of the oddly shaped narcissistic vulgarian standing with the hired help we taxpayers are probably paying for. And you? What do you think about this news? Please tell me in the comment section below and everyone can discuss. Don't forget to like and share for anyone you think is interested. Remember to subscribe to my channel to get more news from the royal family by our Sasha beloved. Now, have a nice day and see you in the next videos. Goodbye.
Hello everyone, today is probably not a good day, and that is also the topic that I mention about Meghan Markle. She is greedy, selfish, bringing the smallest things of things into things that others don't dare to get close to. Many times, when she became acquainted, she could not stop, she instinctively called for her to do that, she could not control herself. She was like a cocoon with a protective cover about herself, a high pride that killed her so much. Who has disliked her button? Yes, I believe that, if someday another Meghan of the present appeared to be an honest and considerate person, standing facing me, maybe that day was a beautiful day, and now not. I'll wait. And what about you? Stay tuned to the channel so you don't miss